Yo, what's up, guys? What's happening? It is your boy. Welcome to another reaction. This one is from Dr. No Sleep, and it is called Sleep Paralysis Horror Story. Horror Story. Now, I've never personally had sleep paralysis. My lady has. She says it's weird. Obviously, for those of you who have had it, you know what it's like. All I know is that you're paralyzed. You can't move anything. You can. I think you can look around. I ran out of breath. And I asked her, like, can you blink your eyes quick? To, like, just in case. Because I think she's had sleep paralysis when I'm next to her. And I think I'm touching her or something. I mean, not like that, but like when we're cuddling. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I wonder if you're like in the middle of a sleep paralysis and you see somebody looking at you, like that would be a good way to like signal them, like, hey dude, like wake me up, touch me or something. I wonder if that gets rid of it. I don't know. No, I just heard it's a creepy experience. I don't know if you see anything. I don't know. If it depends how bad it is. I don't know. I've never gotten it. Thank God. But I just know it's creepy. I don't think I want to go through it. But we about to watch this. Y'all ready? Let go.
There I lay, frozen in bed, as I had 100 times before. What had started out as a waking nightmare had become little more than a mild annoyance. Sleep paralysis, always occurring as I awoke from a bad dream. I darted my eyes around the dark room, trying to figure out what time it was, wondering if I should try to move my body or make a futile attempt to return to sleep. Then I felt the pressure build up within my chest, as if someone was crushing it with their own weight. I knew it to be little more than my imagination, so it didn't particularly scare me, but it felt uncomfortable nonetheless. But on that night in particular, the sleep paralysis simply wouldn't fade. I was trapped within my limp body, unable to even call out for help, as the words I produced merely formed whispers.
Yeah, see?
Then I noticed something I hadn't seen
Oh,
before.
nah.
A strange shadow standing in the corner of my
That's what I'm saying. Hell no. I heard you couldn't talk either. You can't do nothing. You're paralyzed. I don't know if you can move your head. I don't think so. And if you can't talk, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can, you like blink your eyes crazy or no? Because I'd figure that'd be the only way to signal somebody. If somebody had been to be looking at you while you're going through it. Unless it's this dude right here. That's what I'm saying. If you could see stuff like that, it would make it scarier.
I tried to figure out whether it came from a lamp casting a strange shadow, but if that were the case, why hadn't I seen it before? Then the shadow moved, ever so slightly.
Oh,
It had been a
nah.
projection on the wall, then a figure standing in my room. I felt adrenaline build up in my blood. Hallucinations weren't unheard of during episodes of sleep paralysis, but I'd never experienced them myself. I tried to wriggle my body around, but it wouldn't respond. The shadow took a step in my direction, and mild fear had turned to mind-shattering panic. I forced as much air out of my lungs, calling out for help. Next thing I know, the lights turn on and my parents come rushing in to check on me. "Eric, what is going on?" My mother screamed, my dad standing next to her with a baseball bat. I sat up in bed, finally freed, and observed the suddenly empty corner.
Did y'all hear that? That was my TV right now that made the crinkling sound. So right there, his parents came in and he got out of it. So if people look at you, you break out of it. Like, if you guys gone through this, let me know. If somebody's helped you break out of it, or how do you break out? I mean, obviously, if nobody helps you, you just have to wait for it to pass. But I wonder if you can break through it by like that, like somebody watching you or come touching you or somehow. I'm curious.
It all been a dream? I just had a bad dream, I think. I thought I saw something standing in the corner, I said as I tried to catch my breath. My bed was soaked in what I could only pray was sweat, but in the grand scheme of what I'd just experienced, it didn't really matter. "The nightmares are getting worse?" my mom asked. I nodded. They were always the same. Always the car crash with my grandparents, their blood splattered upon my face as I cried. I had caused the accident, not on purpose, but I'd cried enough to distract them. At the age of 4, I just didn't know any better. There they lay, bleeding out, but still trying to comfort me because I was scared. Those were the images haunting me in my dreams each and every night. Those were the nightmares that forced my body to stop functioning. My mom sighed. I think we need to schedule another appointment with Dr. Burke. I agreed. He'd been able to help me through the trauma, though only to a certain degree. With his help, I'd been able to get back in a car without having a mental breakdown. I'd known him for the better part of my life, and though I just turned 18, technically not within his scope of therapy, I wouldn't have accepted help from anyone else. Hello, Eric. It has been a while since we last saw each other. How's it going? He greeted me as I entered his office. At that moment, it seemed so childish. He was a psychiatrist both for children and teenagers, and though I technically fit within that realm, I wanted to be treated as an adult. Still, I sat down and talked to him, going over the nightmares as I had so many times before. Back as a kid, he'd mainly been treating my post-traumatic stress disorder with the idea that the nightmares would vanish alongside my anxiety. He wasn't a particularly big fan of medications for kids, so we'd been working under the theory of cognitive behavioral theory. Despite all that, the nightmares persisted. I know I've told you we'd stay away from medications for as long as possible, but now that you're an adult, it might be time to take the next step.
Which
I was
is?
skeptical, but in the end, I did trust the man. What kind of drugs? I asked. Just a mild antidepressant. If we can get your sleep under control, I'm hoping the sleep paralysis will vanish alongside the nightmares. I'll give them a shot, I guess, I said, still not convinced. The thing about SSRIs is that they might need some time to work. Typically, you'll notice an improvement within a couple of weeks, but until then, you need to keep taking them, as long as you're not experiencing any side effects, of course.
Which
He wrote me a prescription.
which are
and sent me on.
yo, okay. First of all, that is gonna take a couple weeks to work. That's too long, but I mean, I guess as long as they work. Second, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one tripping when they say when they like on TV when they put the commercials for medication, how they list off the side effects. Pretty sure y'all know who Cat Williams is. He did a joke about it. How he says the side effects are worse than what they're trying to cure, which is true though. Cause I think he said one of them was like, if you're taking something for asthma, I don't need the side effect to be shortness of breath. That's too funny. But I don't think he's gonna list off the side effects, cause I'm pretty sure one of them is probably gonna be nightmares, or the sleep paralysis getting worse, or like in our case, you know how, you know, the everything's going on. I don't know if I should say it, but you guys know everything that's going on today in the world, how they're making the vaccines. My homie, I don't think if he's the only one. Well, I don't know, cause I know two people. My in-law got both of the shots, and he didn't get any side effects from it. But my homie got them, and he got sick both times. So, but then they say they're trying to cure a virus with another virus. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you're trying to cure, I don't know, I'm lost. Because like I said, it works for some people. I mean, I don't know if it worked for him too, but he got sick and my in-law didn't. So it just depends on the person. Okay, I kind of got off topic.
A mild glimmer of hope had been ignited within me, though it remained overshadowed by my lack of belief in medication. But I knew he was an educated man with years of experience. I diligently take my pills and pray for a good night's sleep. That night, I took my first pill and slipped into a deep sleep. Coincidentally, not only would the antidepressant help with my nightmares, but as a side effect, it would make me tired, which meant it kind of doubles a sleeping tablet. I felt myself fade into a dreamless darkness. It was a void where I was rid of any weight, floating in nothing except for infinite peace. I remained extraordinarily lucid throughout the experience, never once forgetting the fact that I was indeed sleeping. I just felt calm, content with my own existence. And so I would remain until my body finally landed back in bed, and I opened my eyes. I was paralyzed,
Ugh.
my mind frozen inside my useless body.
Damn.
Not that it bothered me too much, though. Just having a peaceful moment of sleep was worth the paralysis. I looked around the room as usual, trying to figure out the time. Then I saw it again, the shadow standing in the corner. But it was closer than last time. I could even make out its basic humanoid silhouette. Help! I let out with merely a whisper, but there was no one there to listen. My parents were fast asleep.
Oh,
and I
that's
was alone
creepy,
with a
bro.
strange shadow that was moving just slightly closer than it had last time. Then I shot up in bed. The room suddenly cleared of all malicious entities. I could move, but that time at least I hadn't screamed. I peeked over at the time. It had just passed 3 in the morning, which meant I had a long night ahead of me.
La hora del diablo. In other words, was that the devil's hour? When all the such comes out, all the ghosts. That's crazy because my baby woke me up like at 3:30 a couple nights ago. I'm like, I was like, why me? But nothing happened. You know, something would have happened. These ghosts would have caught these hands.
Despite the horrific experience with the creature, I was content that the nightmares had vanished. And if the medication still needed time to function, I felt confident that the paralysis would be removed too. How did you sleep? My mom asked as I came down for breakfast. I slept all right. Still had sleep paralysis, saw some weird things, but no nightmares. That's great, she exclaimed in joy.
It's funny how they're trying to say the sleep paralysis and the nightmare is two different things. I'm pretty sure the sleep paralysis is the nightmare. So you're not really cured yet, my guy.
Why aren't you happy? It's just that thing. It was the same as last night, I said. A monster? She asked. I think so. I'm not sure. Eric, you know your mind can play tricks on you when you're tired. Hallucinations are normal with sleep paralysis. We went over it all together. I knew she was right, but it felt all too real. Still, I was almost excited to sleep. So when nightfall washed away the blinding rays of sunlight, I took my medication and headed back to bed. Once again, I slipped into the empty void. It was just me and my thoughts. All the horrors of the world didn't matter, as long as I could just stay in that blissful place. Just like last night, I was free from the nightmares. But once my body regained consciousness, I paralyzed back in my bed. I immediately glimpsed over at the corner, and sure enough, the creature was there, closer than ever before. The being that had once been a mere silhouette
bro, he's
suddenly
walking
had
towards
more
you.
human features, though twisted, wrong. It was unnaturally tall, slim with twisted fingers containing far too many joints.
Why does it have a blue shirt?
Closer, and I could hear its raspy voice and putrid breath fill the room. I put every ounce of willpower into moving a finger, then my arm. With a few excruciatingly challenging movements, I was finally able to sit up, and with that, the monster was gone. It's just a hallucination, I kept telling myself as I inspected the empty room.
So you
it's
can
still better than the nightmares.
So you can fight it? Like kind of like fight yourself up to where like you gain consciousness again? I thought you just had to wait and let it pass. Like I thought you didn't have no choice. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's hard anyways to try and fight it.
So I diligently went on with the therapy, and each night I'd slip into the same unconscious void, drifting further and further into the darkness. But no matter how far I sank, I would always awake, paralyzed with the creature getting closer each night. Before long, I could feel its humid breath on my face and the sound of its creaking fingers stretch out as if trying to reach me. Its face was still shrouded in the darkness. Only its hands were close enough for me to make out any specific details. The skin was charred with deep fissures that were actively bleeding, drops falling onto the floor below. His hand was just a few inches away from my face,
Oh,
and its
snap.
stench immediately assaulted my nostrils. With that, I shot up in bed, and the creature had once again vanished. But despite being safe, my body remained in panic mode. I jumped out of bed and pulled open each and every door, curtains, cupboards. Then I checked under the bed, and as I kneeled down, I felt something wet brush against my foot. It was blood, just a few drops of the putrid liquid that had poured out from the monster's hand. It was all real. I tried to tell my parents, begged to visit my
They didn't
grandparents
believe you.
for just a couple of days to escape the entity, but they refused. They saw the blood, but it didn't exactly look normal. It was too thick and lumpy, so they figured I'd just spilled something. Instead of helping, they just booked me another appointment with Dr. Burke. I knew I sounded insane.
Yo, your parents don't care about you. Let's just put it at that.
It was real. So I decided to stay awake until I could come up with a plan. I didn't have any close enough friends I could sneak over to. But of course, that wasn't a permanent solution. While the first day went fine, I was still no closer to finding a plan. And as the 72nd hour rolled around, I drifted off to sleep.
I got a plan for you. I mean, this is probably not gonna stop the sleep paralysis, but I would say sleep with somebody, have them hold you, or like just have. It's gonna sound weird. Have somebody watch you sleep, so then when they see you open your eyes and you're not moving, that's when they know you're having a sleep paralysis. And like, obviously they're gonna see if it's real or not. If they don't see anything, then it's just sleep paralysis. They could just wake your ass up, you know. Like I said, it's not gonna cure it, or like it's not gonna make it go away, but I guess it would help.
On a chair in the kitchen with a cup of poorly made coffee in my hand. As always, I drifted through the dreamless void before being shoved back into physical existence. I was lying on the floor in the kitchen after having fallen off the chair. I was paralyzed, and the being was standing closer than ever before. His face was finally visible, and it was little more than a solid block of meat with sharp teeth sticking out here and there. There were multiple small holes on its head, each containing a tiny tendril that wriggled around like a trapped worm. Tomorrow, it whispered with a harsh, broken voice. That was last night, and though I fear for my life, I'm still dead tired. I can't stay awake much longer. Even if I do, I don't think it's enough to hold back the monster anymore. By this time tomorrow, I will be dead. And once I'm gone, the creature will just latch onto someone else. So if you wake up paralyzed, just keep your eyes closed. Pretend there's nothing there until it gets bored and leaves. It's your only chance. Thanks for watching. You can watch another scary animation here. Also, don't forget to subscribe and to hit that notification bell to stay tuned for future videos.
It's crazy though. Like I said, I've never gone through sleep paralysis. I've never met anybody, but I've heard people that go through it every night. You know, that must suck. Like you having to be scared to go to sleep. Like sleep is supposed to be a peaceful thing where you put your body to rest for a couple hours. And you gotta be terrified every time you go to sleep. That sucks. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. No Sleep, because he was literally the first person who let me react to his videos. He's the first person I reached out to. But he's the first person. If y'all go back, he's the first person I reacted to. I think the first one was 3 quarantine horror stories that I want to say. That's like my very first reaction. And I think it's about almost a year now. It's like in July. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's hitting a year now. Since I started doing reactions. Yeah, man. It's crazy. But like I said, I want to just give a quick shout out to him. If you guys already don't check out his channel, make sure you do. Obviously, if you guys like this content, go check him out. As always, everything will be linked down below. And my back's hurting. I don't have much to say, so I'm gonna end it right here. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.